My name is Kristy Lai. I'm a fourth-year PhD student in the Developmental Psychology program in the Applied Psychology department. In general, my research really focuses on how children, especially infants and toddlers, from multilingual and immigrant communities learn language in their everyday environments. When doing this research, we really are careful in taking into consideration the roles that caregiver beliefs, the children's everyday physical settings, and their everyday language practices contribute to their actual language learning. I think what really drew me to the research side of it all was during my 3 gap years in between college and grad school, where I worked at an education nonprofit called WestEd, where we provided research and evaluation support to local and state level early childhood education programs in California. And that's where I directly worked with students, teachers, and policymakers, and of course, researchers like myself, where we realized that in order to answer the questions that really mattered to the communities that we worked with, we needed measures from the science that were contextually and culturally grounded. And for every single project, I felt like I kept running into barriers with finding those measures. And so that's why I went back to school to really strengthen my toolkit and my ability to push science in that direction, to make the measures that really reflect the realities of children's learning environments. How do we actually observe children's learning in their everyday environment? I think what really drew me to NYU and drew me to the work that I'm doing now is that we go beyond the lab setting, right? We take the subway and go out and meet families where they're at in their homes, right? And we observe children in those everyday settings using video recordings. And we really zoom in on those moment-to-moment interactions, those seemingly fleeting moments that really unfold, but really make up the magic of how children learn. And it's through this observation that we kind of adopt this bottom-up approach to understanding how children learn. And I think that's so important to all the work that I've done and hope to continue to do. It's been really cold in New York recently, and so I've been trying to learn a lot of traditional Chinese herbal soups that were really popular among my family when my grandma was around. I think rediscovering those recipes through trial and error and through almost systematic qualitative interviews with family members is a very funny way I've been using my research skills to kind of bring joy in my own everyday life. But yeah, I think that's a major way I decompress and also make sure I have time with my loved ones.